let's get creative and explore these 4-color big pens. We're going to sketch with these. There's 10 different ink colors, and this is what we're going to work on. So we're going to look through the garden and have a lot of fun. There's a lot of different colors. You can create so much with them. Let's see what we can do with these. Welcome to my channel. My name is Kristina Moyer. Thank you for being here. Today we're sketching with pen, but not just pen this time. We are cracking out some new colors. I love color. If you've seen any of my paintings, you know that I love color. Any of my works of art typically have lots of color, and it's hard to contain myself when it comes to that. So naturally, seeing, just blue ink, as fun as it is, and learning to start sketching with ink, I gotta bring in some color. There's an opportunity to do it, I'm gonna do it. And what I love is you can just grab one of these pens and get, a nice arrangement of colors because you have 4 colors for each pen. How fun, and a little bit nostalgic if you ever had these growing up. So I'm just starting with a few sketches, and I'm gonna do the same thing with each color so that I can see what its capabilities are, get the ink flowing, and the brain going too, the brain to hand connection flowing as well. So we're working on it, having some fun, seeing what we can do and how they blend together. So how the colors can blend, work with one another. The yellow, a little hard to see at the moment, but you'll see how powerful that yellow can be. It was the key element ingredient for the work of art that I'm going to do. So just playing around first, see how each pen, what it can do, and then make a little mini something or other, little leaf type of shape or something. Doesn't have to be a real thing, just blending all of the colors together. Like, how can you make a little sketch doodle something or other with the 4 colors from each pen? And then we'll explore the garden, see what inspires us in our surroundings. Whether you're in a garden or not, maybe you're not, maybe you're in an office, maybe you're in an airport, maybe wherever you are, find something that inspires you and use that to make a little sketch with all the colors or some of the colors. So that's what we're doing right here. And you'll see I'm showing you some real time, some fast time, all in between, so that you can get a glimpse of the real feel of creating and being with me in this space where I'm in my backyard, chilling out with my hubby and my puppy. Chilling out with my family and on this beautiful, beautiful fall day. It's such a lovely day to be outside and just not doing this inside. I could do this inside, but why? Let's do it outside, even though the lighting may be less controlled outside than inside. So here we go. We're ready to play with this pen that has these 4 colors, the yellow, orange, pink, and purple. And I'm just doing kind of a leaf type of shape. And I'm just gonna see what kind of shading capacity I can do as a bit of an amateur pen sketcher. Still learning the art, still finding my way in it and feeling the groove. But it's pretty cool what can be done with it, what you can make of it. I actually really love the results, so let's get on to the next pen. And I went with the non-traditional one. I'm saving the kind of traditional colors for last because I want to play with these colors that I've never seen before. So onto this beautiful kind of light grass green and this blue, that's this aqua blue that is really fun and blends really pretty with the green. They work really nicely together. You could do a lot of fun things with that. It makes me just think of the Hawaii or something. So I love it. Now, you might be wondering, wait, purple again, what's with this? So as you might have noticed, there are 3 pens with 4 colors each and 10 colors. Well, normally 4 times 3 is not 10. There are duplicates. So you actually have 2 pinks and 2 purples. So yes, we get the pinks and purples. All right, so I'm playing around again, similar concept, because I want to see what I can do with each one, but kind of keep it you know, like when you're doing an experiment, you keep certain variables the same so that you can really get a sense of what those things do. So I'm making a few changes, like by adding those lines in the center. Now on to the third pen, which has kind of our traditional colors of, you know, blue. We've got that similar blue to the big pen that I was sketching with before. You see the rose and that kind of thing. And then this green. These colors might be more familiar. Maybe you've had this pen. Let me know in the comments if you've tried these 4-color pens before. And I think there's ones that have more colors than 4. If you have a recommendation, please send it my way for pen sketching, or your favorite. If you have colorful pens that you love to use, please let me know in the comments. Share your wealth of knowledge, share your wisdom. And then black. And you can see how each one I'm testing it out to see how they kind of can shade together, kind of like for blending, so that when you actually go to make a work of art, you know kind of what's going to happen as you layer them and create depth and interest. Pardon me. So playing around, it's really interesting because this one might have been my favorite. I don't know. I really like how this one turned out with green, the blue, the black, and then the red elements in the end. I quite liked it. And you can really have a lot of control in shading. Like you can make fairly light marks, just like you do in a pencil, like giving it lighter pressure, or going over it more lightly or more frequently to add a deeper tone. I was pretty impressed with what I could do with these pens in particular, where I wasn't getting any ink blotches, so I really appreciated that. Let's go take a look in the garden now that we've tried all the pens. And of course, Charlie adds to the experience always. If you are a pet lover, then you know. If you know, you know. But as we planted this particular flower, and it came into bloom pretty quickly and has maintained blooms throughout the season. I can't exactly recall when it started and how long it's been, but it has been a beautiful flower in the garden. It has given us so much, and so it's time for me to show a little appreciation by sketching one of these blooms in my sketchbook. I've waited too long. This flower deserves more recognition because it really has been so delightful to look out and see these gorgeous blooms that they're so eye-catching, and the foliage having this like darker purpley, like cooler green foliage. It's just a beautiful, beautiful plant. So I'm glad that we purchased that one. We got it on sale later in the season. If you shop kind of later in the spring season, the late spring, getting into summer, I think it was when it might have been already summer when we purchased it. But so anyways, I started with the orange and then went in with red to kind of indicate those kind of deeper tones, and I'm going to go in further and keep layering, but I'm using orange mainly, but I went in with some yellow as well for that center area. And you can notice if you just stop at, like if I just stopped here, it wouldn't be very magical, but you just have to keep going. So don't get discouraged if your work of art feels like, okay, this isn't looking great, because I feel that all the time when I'm creating. And I always have to tell myself, keep going, because this is just the process part and it's gonna get better. Like last week's video, if you saw, ooh, that painting, I mean, part of me can't believe I posted that, but I mean, I went live and did it, so, you know, it is what it is. But what I just realized this morning on my walk is, as I was thinking about that painting, like, what am I going to do with that to make it, you know, good? And I know I talked about art being a process, and as you keep going, you find your way, especially if you're taking the steps to get to know your material, first of all. Like, I took those steps to get to know this material a bit, but I'm not, you know, professional sketch, you know, artist that knows pens super well. So I have to give myself, you know, some grace when it comes to that. But as I was thinking about it, I thought, okay, what that piece was really missing is a focal point. It was just my brain kind of, you know, regurgitating, like just like letting go of things like that are in my mind, like dumping it, just like a brain dump, I guess, in an art sense, and just kind of playing a little bit, but not really knowing what direction I'm going. So having direction definitely helps. But I thought about how I need a focal point. So when in doubt, when you're looking at a piece, you're like, what is going on with this? Especially if you start with a background and you don't really know what it's going to be, then think about what could be a focal point. So I'm thinking about some ideas for what that could be. Hopefully it will turn into something magical that I really love. As you can see, when you add in the yellow, man, it just comes to life. The yellow was the key ingredient to really make it more bold and give that feel that this flower gives me. Like, take a look at that. Like, I know it's not exact, but it definitely gives me the feeling of that when I added the yellow especially. And just lightly indicating the leaves, so I know what they look like, just remembering. Sometimes we think, oh yeah, I'll know what that looks like, but then the winter comes, the plants, they all disappear, and then the spring, we kind of wonder, okay, what's coming up again? So this is kind of like a visual journal in a way. So I'm just thinking about actually doing this for all my plants, because there's going to be a lot to know about all the plants, and if I don't have Steven with me, I'm not gonna know. You know, he's more the gardener, so. Anyways, there's Charlie hanging out with me on the chair. Most of the time Steven was sitting there, but Charlie came right at the end to be part of the show, because, you know, he loves it. He loves the limelight. He's the star. So give him some love with a thumbs up. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. So appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.